So we said that once you have a repository, all the developers can use it as a source of truth to get the current state of the project. But that's not only limited to developers. It extends to the entire team. Managers, testers, system administrators, and even all the tools that the team needs to keep the project under control. For example, most software teams use a bug tracker to manage a list of bugs or changes that need to be done. And these days, bug trackers integrate directly with the source code in the repository. So, for example, if a tester finds a bug, he can link the bug to the commit where it happened. And then a developer fixing the bug can link the bug to the commit where she fixed it. And the same kind of integration happens with tools that, for example, help you manage the backlog of work that needs to be done, or maybe allow a team leader to allocate work to team members. Like Jira, for example, that's a popular tool to track work on a team. You can link a task from these tools to the repository, and that makes it so much easier to understand what's happening in a project. One essential tool in many projects today is the build machine, also called the automation server sometimes. For example, there is a system called Jenkins that is very popular for that. The build machine also connects to the repository, and it typically springs into action whenever the repository changes to do many useful things. First, it typically builds the project. It compiles the code if it's written in a compiled language. It packages the code for distribution, maybe deploys the system on some test machine, and so on. And also it can monitor that the code is healthy. It runs metrics and, above all, automated tests. It's common for software teams today to have many automated tests, and running all those tests can take a long time. So the build machine takes care of that, and it raises a flag if your latest commit breaks something in the system. That's an extremely useful thing. Some teams even go farther than that and use their build machine to trigger what is called continuous deployment. That means that the build machine not only checks the code, runs the test and so on, it literally rolls out the system to production. So every time you change anything in the source code, that change gets to production automatically. Only a small percentage of teams are able to pull that trick, but some do. It requires a lot of automated tests, of course, but that's an example of the power of this concept of a build machine. And all those things can only happen because the build machine knows every change to the system. They can happen thanks to version control. So that's the final benefit of version control that I wanted to tell you about. It's not just the center of human communication in a team, it's the focus of all development these days. It's crucial to coordinate teamwork.